Good morning, Princess. I am finally, well, just a day after I had initially planned, on my way to Busch Gardens to try out their food and wine festival. It is a overcast and cooler than forecast day, so the drive is quite nice. Instead of taking I-4, wanted to do something a little bit different. I am basically taking a back road. It's only 8 or 9 miles, no, it's like 8 miles further, but it's slower. I want to see how much energy we use just taking it easy. It will take longer, I do know that, but I have time. I will get there a little bit afternoon, but that's when the food festival starts, so perfect, just in time for lunch, and still have, oh boy, maybe 45 minutes to go, but I'm out here on Dean Still Road. I think that's what this is right now, and have the cruise control set at just 45, so I am, I don't know, trundling along, and people are passing me. I kind of feel bad about that, but it's fine. There's no traffic, so passing is not really that difficult, so you're out here, sorry, I guess, but not that big of a deal. I would have been the passer not too long ago. Well, I am just going to enjoy the drive, and I don't know. I did take a picture, and I did reset the trip computer, so we'll see what we get when we get there. Right now, she's showing 5.1 miles per kilowatt hour, which is pretty good. Okay, just going to drive for the next hour. See you at Busch Gardens. And here we are, finally, at Busch Gardens. This is not the normal parking spot because Preferred is already full, which means the park is probably going to be a bit crowded today. But that's okay since I'm mostly here for the food. I'm going to walk, not take the tram, maybe take the tram back. I don't know. It's been a while since I have done this. And I do need the steps, although I did forget my band. So I'm just going to be guessing today, although probably won't be much of a problem. I have no real strategy for the festival. Just probably going to hit the booths in order and get what I like. Sounds like a good plan to me. So let's get over there and get started. Eventually. For today's adventure, we are starting off in the seasonal kitchen with the 5-spice duck lettuce wraps, something like that. It's right there. And the roasted Brussels sprouts, and that brings tahini and what appears to be roasted nuts. Okay, or peanuts. Right, so appetizers unite. We are definitely off to a very good start. Both dishes were terrific. The duck was very well prepared. The actual duck itself was very good. It was nice, and it was tender and moist. Had a very light hoisin sauce. If you're not an adventurous eater, don't let the 5-spice scare you away. It's very mild, and the lettuce gave it a really nice crisp. So overall, a great dish. The Brussels sprouts also really, really good. Could have been grilled a little bit more. They were very soft, so I like the Brussels sprouts when they have a little bit of crispiness to them. But the tahini sauce, that had some kick to it, and that was really good as well. That was more spiced, actually, than the 5-spice duck. So both of them together, good, great choices. So we're off to a great start, and I repeat myself. Today, I think I'll talk about something that I haven't been thinking about a lot, but still worth maybe a quick conversation. Don't know when you'll ever care about this, and you might not, but it's possible in the future. When you look back at history, you may encounter in the ancient historical texts a company called Google or Alphabet. And right now, a lot of people are kind of afraid of them, the big bad menace. Not so much for me. I really don't pay too much attention to them. I don't really care too much about them. They don't really mean a whole lot to me, and I think eventually they're going to meet the same fate as so many other tech companies and just kind of wither away when people realize there are better choices. So I'm not afraid of them, and I don't think everyone should be. I don't think there's a reason to be afraid of them. I mean, if you think about it, they're really not that big and powerful a company. They do have influence, but the thing is, they are really just an advertising company with a search engine and video sharing site. that's pretty much it. They have a lot of other little businesses, but they don't really matter. They don't contribute significantly in revenue, and they come and go like subatomic particles. So whatever they're doing, well, I tell you what they're doing, it doesn't really matter to a whole lot of people. They are not a player in the cloud space, not at all. There's Amazon and Microsoft, a bunch of other people, and then Google down here. And the reason I say this is because a couple months ago there was a big outage at Google, and it apparently affected everything. But the only thing people really cared about was YouTube and maybe search. I don't know, but all the reports were like, oh my god, YouTube is down. That's the only thing I noticed. But in the few days afterwards, there were no reports of companies complaining or demanding compensation, no companies releasing statements of why they were out because of Google or anything like that. So whatever happened to Google, there weren't enough people on their cloud service, or there weren't enough important people on their cloud service for it to matter. So realistically, they don't matter to a lot of people. Oh, they do have an email service. And I decided to wash it down with a nice Chianti. Yes, I know, way, way overdone, but I don't order wine that often, so gotta take the opportunity. It's been a while since I think this area has been open. This is the first large food festival they've done since the nonsense started, so I know this is the first time I have had this chance to see Iron Gwazi from this perspective. She is quite gorgeous. Hopefully soon. I suspect, though it could be a while, I have not heard of any testing going on, unlike back at SeaWorld where there's been regular testing of Icebreaker for the last few weeks, including day before yesterday when they were doing pretty much 2-train testing all day. So that bodes well for a opening in the near future. All right, I'm gonna enjoy this, then walk around a little bit, and then figure out what to do for round 2. All right, somewhere in the sci-fi universe there is a creature like this, or maybe I shouldn't call it a creature. There is a character or group like this, but I cannot remember who it is. I was going to have dessert, but apparently everyone had the same idea, so they are out of all the desserts everywhere. Well, the ones I wanted. They have beignets and the floats or shakes, but I wanted something else. These are the garlic and hummus Parmesan fries. They look very basic. That is a hard pass. No. I will hope that they just ran out of the Parmesan garlic fries and substituted regular quick service fries. But if that's the case, then just stop selling it. The hummus itself is just it's definitely not even close to carrying the dish. So yeah, that's a don't even. Oh well. And speaking of disappointment, is what advertisers should feel when they buy ads from Google. Because, everyone worries about the data collection and everything they know about you and all the data they're collecting from your searches and your email and your movement and everything like that. And admittedly, I don't use Google Search. I don't use Gmail. So maybe my results are skewed. One second. It doesn't bother me because whatever they know about me is wrong? I don't know. I do see ads from Google because I use YouTube. And I will tell you that if they were trying to serve me irrelevant ads, they could not be doing a better job. I will say that. Everything I see, or pretty much the majority of ads I see, are ads for pharmaceutical products for diseases and conditions that I don't have and will never have. Let's put it that way. So, why? Why do I see this? There is a reason. They're just blanket buys. They're not targeted at all. I know that because they're the same ads that I hear in the background on broadcast television when grandma or someone else is just watching some random TV station. So I don't know. I this whole targeted ad thing's based on all the information they get from spying on you. It's not working for me. So I don't know. It makes me not really worry about the stuff they're collecting, except one thing. I will give them credit for one thing. They do seem to understand one bit of basic demographic information about me, and that is I am a male. That seems to be it. And I say that because I do see ads targeted towards men, like shaving products and certain soaps, or the ad meant for men, not women, things like that. So they did seem to get that right, but really, was that so hard to figure out? I don't know. So yeah, I'm not worried about them because it just doesn't work. I mean, whatever they're doing, all this collection, it's just, for me, it is not working. I will say a stop by the flamingo enclosure is really helping me cope with the inability to get dessert. Until later, of course. Great to see they have a full slate of events coming up. This is Food and Wine, then Guy Harvey, then Summer Nights Fireworks, then Beer Fest, be here for that. Then Hollow Screen, which really gives Universal some competition. And finally, Christmas Town. That's super cute. I'll be here for all of it. Up there is the Serengeti Overlook, where I believe they are building a new bar or something like that. I don't think it's open yet, but I'm going to see when I walk around. I cannot remember the last time I was over in this part of the park. There is the, well, there's the Serengeti right there. This path wraps around the overlook, so I think I usually take the shortcut. This is nice. New thing today. The dessert that I originally wanted is finally available. The booth was closed for a while and only opened up, well, recently, maybe 3 o'clock. These are hummingbird donuts. It's cider and red velvet dough with pecans and caramel sauce. The red velvet is what drew me in. The hummingbird donuts get a split decision. The apple cider donuts were a basic apple cinnamon-ish donut. Nothing really special about them, but the red velvet donuts were quite tasty. So I would have preferred it if there were 2 apple cinnamon donuts and 3 red velvet donuts. That would have done a lot better. So I guess half a point, you know, or if you have a friend who doesn't like red velvet, maybe share with them. So it was okay, just because of, you know, one was good, one was good, one was good, one not so much. Oh well. This is the pork tamale. That's it. That's the name. Nothing fancy. Just a pork tamale. The pork tamale puts them back in the game. That was quite good. The only issue I had was by the time I found a place to eat, it had cooled off a little bit. It's because it's very cold today, so it's not really on them. And a tamale is something you need to eat warm or hot. I presume because of the starches in the corn, they firm up when they get cold. So yes, definitely eat it as soon as you get it, and very, very enjoyable. The sauce was really good. Not really a slaw, good and crunchy, and the pork had a nice kick to it. So yes, I did enjoy that. Now, another reason that I'm not really worried about Google is because I have nothing invested in them, really. And they honestly can't really do a whole lot to me. One thing you have to understand, and one thing everybody has to understand, is you might use their services, you know, Gmail and other things, but you are not their customer, not at all. They have no responsibility to you whatsoever, because for the most part, you're not paying for these services, and even if you are just paying for it. It's a limiting factor. It's not an actual like fee for service type arrangement. It's some. We'll talk about that later, and that means they don't have to be in any way responsive to you, right? Because they honestly don't really care. That's why their products, the software, is not very good, really. The thing is, their customers are the advertisers. They're the ones that pay the bill. That's where they get their revenue. Those are the people that they're answering to, which is why every time there's even the slightest controversy out there, they have these weird, completely inexplicable knee-jerk reactions. They start flailing about because, honestly, they don't really know what they're doing. They're not very experienced, and honestly, a lot of them are not that smart. Most of them actually are not that smart. So, which is why Adpocalypse, all these things, it's fun to watch, to laugh at them, because there's so many better ways to handle it. They're kind of out of their league, and there's reasons for that. Maybe we'll talk about those sometime. But the thing is, the advertisers, their customers, do they realize they're getting duped in a way? Because, like what I said earlier, I'm not being targeted with ads. So if any advertiser is paying them to target people like me, they're wasting their money. I mean, seriously, because I'm not seeing any kind of targeted ad. I don't know. They probably would it would be the same if I was just watching television. Like I said earlier, same ads on broadcast TV. So for me, I mean, I'm not a customer, barely even a user. They don't really know anything about me, and I will credit them for being able to charge for targeted advertising that doesn't work. That's a feat. But yeah, if it all stopped one day, yeah, I wouldn't notice or care. Reminder again, if you are a SeaWorld or Busch Gardens pass member, always check your benefits, because I get one free sample per weekend here at the Busch Gardens Food and Wine Festival, and I also get that one free quick queue here, and the young lady was kind enough to print them both for me. This is the Fuji Bacon, depending on how bourgeois you are. That Fuji Bacon was fantastic. I do not like crispy bacon, never have, and this definitely was not crispy. It was nice, and it was soft but firm, chewable. It wasn't chewy like bacon can sometimes be. It had a great sweet maple flavor, so that was really, really good. A definite buy. I will say now that from today's menu, number one, I think it's the duck wraps. Yes, number one, the duck wraps, then the Fuji Bacon, and finally the Brussels sprouts. So the first two things I got, and then the last thing I got. I am done for the day, and it's now time to use my one free quick queue. The lines are pretty long. Don't know how long that's going to take. Just got to decide what ride it's going to be. I know, I'm thinking Cheetah Hunt. We'll walk over there. I do need to do another lap of the park. Then I'll make my decision. But it's going to get dark, and I'm going to head out after that. So I just wanted to close out by talking a little bit more about why I'm not really worried about Google. Now, I mentioned before, they do have a lot of other products, but they don't have any of these products to make money or anything like that. They're not an incubator. They're not trying to hit the next big thing or anything like that. They have all these random, wacky products to keep people off the market. Yes, that is why they have so much going on, so many different products. I mean, they'll say, oh, they're always experimenting. They want their employees to do extra side jobs. Yeah, okay, they have money to keep people off the market so that their talent is not available to their competitors. Again, at least one smart person has worked at Google at some point in the past. Whoever came up with this, it's actually quite brilliant. But that means if you do want to work at Google, just be prepared for what you do to be completely worthless. You will invest a lot of time in it, and it's not going to go anywhere, because that's kind of the point. They just want to keep you off the market. So just keep that in mind. If you just want a job where you can tinker around and park yourself and get paid, well, I will grant them that too. Then fine, go for it. But if you really want to have a meaningful contribution to society, yeah, that's not really the place for you. So I don't know, just keep that in mind, which is why I would never work there. Any big corporation just would not be for me. So, well, that's it. That's why I'm not really worried about Google. Why, if they went away tomorrow, next week, next year, if a competitor suddenly came on and took them down, would not shock me one bit, wouldn't bother me one bit, and honestly, I probably wouldn't notice. So, yeah. Oh, and if you don't like Google, use duck.com. Honestly, it's just as good. So, quick queue time. I still don't know what ride. I'm still thinking of Cheetah Hunt, but I have my walk to do. Then I'll decide. Overall, I did pretty good for today. That is 6 of 15 punches plus my free one. That means I'll be back twice for 5, then 6. No, 6, then 5. That's including the free one. So I guess I get a total of 18 if I make 3 visits. Pretty good deal. And Shikra was down a little bit earlier, but, well, there she goes. Well, almost. And there she goes. Almost. And there she goes. Eventually. Oh boy. Great choice of Cheetah Hunt for my quick queue. Wonderful way to end the day. And here she comes now. After a great day at the Busch Gardens Food and Wine Festival, had some good food. 1.5 not so good things, but it happens. I will have to be back because with the pass order lanyard, I have a lot of samples, especially with the free one per weekend. So I did some quick math, and like I said, I'll have to come back twice when I was only anticipating coming back once for the festival, but that is why I am thankful for my problems.